Hey guys, what's up? Topic of this video is angles relationship to find unknown values. In this, we will not use any tool and any protractor, but we will use the relationship of angles and some facts of angles to find the unknown angles. Here I have written different relationships of angles. So by using these relationships, we will find out the unknown angles. I have taught you before this, and now I am not going to explain it again. So you just take a look of it. Supplementary angles. On a straight line, sum of all the angles is 180 degree. Complementary angles, sum of angles is equal to 90 degree if they are in a right angle. Okay, if they are in a right angle. Vertically opposite angles, if we have two straight lines, then opposite angles will be same. Corresponding angles, okay, the corresponding angle is same if we have two parallel lines. If we have two parallel lines and one straight line is cutting the two parallel lines, so their corresponding angle will be same. Alternate angles, here we will get a Z shape. Okay, just this Z shape, this, okay, this. So the alternate angles, you can see here, the angle A will be equal to the angle B if we have two parallel lines and a line is cutting both of these lines. Co-integral angles, similarly we have two parallel lines and one line is cutting from here, and here in this we will get a C. This just like, okay, this. So these two, the sum of these two angles A and B will be equal to 180 degrees. Here, angle around a point, it means that if we have a point and if we take the sum of all the angles present around a point, then the sum will be equal to 360 degrees. So I have taught you before in the previous videos. So if you are not aware of it, you can see those videos. Now we will see questions related to it. Now we will solve these questions. I have drawn many diagrams here, so we have to use the relationship and angle facts to solve these problems instead of using tools and protractor. So let's solve the first one. Here we have to find the X angle, which is this one, and the Y angle, which is this one. Okay, and here it is said that this angle is 90 degree, and also it is said that this line shows that here this line, this line, this line, and this line. Okay, this shows that these four sides are equal in length. These four sides are equal in length, and it is also said that the 90 degrees are present here. Okay, 90 degrees is present here. Actually it is a square, and if we have a square, it means that, let me draw a square here first. Wait a minute. Alright, this is a square we have, and we know that this angle in a square, first of all we know that the side angles are equal to 90 degrees. Okay, side angles are equal to 90 degrees, and we know that this angle, okay, is equal to this angle. Here let me write the angle A here and the angle B. Okay, we know that angle A is equal to angle B in a square because four sides are equal and diagonals, actually these diagonals are going to bisect the angles. Bisect means to divide anything equally into two parts. Okay, so this angle will be equal to that angle, and we know that total angle is 90 degree here. It means that 90 degree is going to divide by 2, so we will get 45 degree. It is the degree of one angle because total is 90 degree and 90 degree is going to divide by 2 because here first part and second part, this 90 angle is going to divide into angle A and angle B, and they are equal angles. Okay, so we have to divide 90 by 2, so 45 is the angle. Actually here the value of X angle is equal to 45 and the Y angle is also equal to 45. Okay, in a square. Okay, only in a square. Okay, the this angle, the angle A, will be equal to the angle B, or I can say that this diagonal, okay, let me write, this diagonal will be equal, will bisect both angles. Okay, or I can say this diagonal will bisect the angle present here. Clear? So this is our first part of a square. Now we have the next part. In this we have a rectangle. Let's see. Here we know that in a rectangle, you can see here, because opposite sides are parallel, these two. Okay, and opposite sides are also parallel and equal in length also. Okay, so it means that it is a rectangle, and in a rectangle we know that the angle, the side angles are equal to 90 degrees. Okay, it means that each interior angle will be equal to 90 degrees, and if I divide this angle, this right angle, okay, if I divide this right angle, it means that the sum of this angle will be equal to the sum of that angle. Here in this case, this angle A will not be equal to this angle B, because only in a square this diagonal will bisect, or I can say will cut the angle into two equal parts. Here in a rectangle or in any other shape, this diagonal will cut the angle, but not in equal parts. It means that in a rectangle, this angle A, and if we add this angle A into the angle B, their sum will be equal to 90 degree, because we know that total is actually in 90 degree we have. Okay, so it means that here we have X. If I add X, and here we have 32 degrees, so it means that it will answer me 90 degrees. It means that sum of both angles will answer me 90 degree. Now to find the value of X, what we will do here, we will subtract 32 on both sides. Okay, if we subtract 32 on both sides, here we are left with X, and here on the other side we have 90 minus 32. So if I subtract 32 by 90, I will get 8 here and 58. It means that here angle X will be equal to 58 degrees. Okay, here angle X is equal to 58 degrees. Clear? Now we will see our third part, this one. Here you can see that we have to find angle X and angle Y. So let's see. First of all, we will find angle Y. Okay, if I redraw this shape here, all right, yes, and I forgot to write one thing here. Okay, yes, actually these two sides, okay, or I can say these two lines are parallel. Parallel means the distance from this line to this line, it will remain same if we take the distance and any of the point. It means that if we take the distance from here to here, it will be same as from here to here and here to here and so on. So these two are parallel, and now you can see here we have a Z shape just like that. Okay, you can see here we have a Z shape. If these two lines are parallel, so if we have a Z shape here, so it means that this angle will be equal to that angle, and it is the alternating angles. Okay, I have just told you here. So here we have alternating angles. It means that this angle will be equal to that angle. Alright, so here this angle is given to us, which is 82. You can see here this angle is given to us, which is 82. So this angle will be equal to that angle, so y will be equal to 82. Okay, y will be equal to 82. So let me write it. Y is equal to 82 degrees. And now we will find x. Okay, you can see here, if I redraw it, not completely, here this angle is given to us, which is 50. This is also given to us, which is 82, and we have to find the value of x. Okay, if you see that this is actually a straight line, we have a straight line, and we know that angles, if we take the sum of the angles on a straight line, okay, if we take the sum of the angles on a straight line, so their sum will be equal to 180 degrees. What does this mean? This means that if we add 50, if we add x, and if we add this 82, so the sum of the angles will be equal to 180 degrees. So here we can find out the value. First of all, we will add these two. So if I add 50 and 82, so here I will get 132, and here 180 as it is. Now if I subtract 132 on both sides, here we are left with x, and here we have 180 minus 132, so it will answer me 48. Okay, so now let me write it first. Now you can see here we have our value of y, which is 82, and here we have our value of x, which is 48. Okay, so here our value of x is 48, and here value of y is 82. So we have solved this part. Now we will do our next part, this one. Let's see. Yes, first of all, let's see. If we find x first, first of all, you can see here we have this straight line. Okay, this straight line, it means that sum of all the angles present on a straight line, their sum will be equal to 180 degrees. Here we have 61 degrees. Here you can see from this square that this one is actually equal to 90 degrees, and here we have to find the value of x. It means if we add x and 61 and 90 degrees, so it will be equal to 180 degrees. Clear? Now if I add 60 and 91, it will be equal to here we have a plus sign. It will be equal to 151. Okay, x plus, if we add these two, we will get 151, and here we have 180 on the right side. Okay, now if I subtract 151 from 180, just like that. If I subtract 151 on both sides, here we are left with x, and here we have 180 and 151. So let's see. Here if we 150 and 151, here we have 7, 10, here we have 9, 39. Here the value of x will be equal to 39 degrees. Okay, here we have x 39 degrees. Here we have x 39 degrees. Now we have found the x value, and here we can find out z or y. Okay, now it's our choice. Now first I'm going to find the value of y, because here we have x which is equal to 39 degrees. Let me write here. Here x is equal to 39 degrees. Now applying the same formula, you can see it is also straight line. So if I add x and y, the sum will be equal to 180 degrees. Or if I find z first, the sum of 61, 90 and z will answer me 180 degrees. So it's my choice whether which of them I'm going to do first. I'm going to find out y. Okay, so if I add x plus y, it will answer me 180 degrees. So I know the value of x, which is 39. So 39 instead of x plus y will answer me 180 degrees. Now if I subtract, if I subtract 39 on both sides, here we are left with y, and 180 minus 39 will equal to 141 degrees. Okay, let me write here, y is equal to 141 degrees. Clear? Now we have to find out z. Okay, we have multiple methods to find out any angle. Now here I'm going to solve z. I'm going to find out z with another method, vertically opposite angles. Okay, it means that let me draw it like that. Okay, now this time I'm not drawing this straight line. Okay, let's draw this line, then I will tell you here. Okay, I have drawn this line. Okay, now you can see that this line is also straight and this line is also straight, and vertically opposite angles, this theorem says that if we have two straight lines, then opposite angles will be equal. It means this angle A and this angle B, these two are opposite of each other, so these two angles are equal, and also here these two angles are also equal. It means that this line is straight line, this line is straight line. So if we take the opposite angles. It means that this angle A will be equal to this angle B, and this angle C will be equal to this angle B. Okay, this angle C, or I can write it, this angle C will be equal to this angle E and F. Okay, this angle E, okay, E, and this angle F, because this is a straight line and this is, okay, this is a straight line and this is a straight line, so this angle will be equal to that whole angle. Clear? And this angle will be equal to that angle. So I know here the value of A, which is 39, so value of A will be equal to value of B, or I can say value of X will be value of Z. So here Z is also equal to 39 degrees. Got it? So this is vertically opposite angles. Okay, now we will solve our next problem, next figure. Here we have a straight line, you can see. Now let me draw it. This one, okay. Here it is said that this is a 90 degree we have. Okay, we have to find out X, we have to find out Y, and this is also given to us for Y, and this is given to us 67 degrees. Alright, so first of all, by applying straight line angle, we will find the value of X. Okay, it means that this 67 degree, if I add 67 and X and 90 degree, so these three angles are present on a straight line. This is a straight line, so it will be equal to 180 degrees. So if I add 90 and 67, it will answer me 157 degree. Okay, and here on the right hand side we have 180 degree, and if I subtract 157 on both sides, so here we are left with X, and here 180 minus 157 will answer me 23 degrees. Here the value of X, yes, this X, okay, this X, the value of X will be equal to 23 degrees. Clear? Now if we apply the same rule and if we find the value of Y, okay, this is a straight line, it means that this angle and this angle, if we take the sum of these two angles, it will answer 180 degrees, just like that. 4Y plus Y will be equal to 180 degrees. Now if I add 4y and y, it will be equal to 5y and 180 degrees. So if I divide both sides by 5, okay, here we are left with y, and here we will get 36 degrees. Okay, so here the value of y is equal to only value of y, not these two. Okay, here we have y, it means that here the value of y, or I can say here this angle will be equal to 36. Okay, here this angle will be equal to 36 degrees, and to find this angle it is 4y, it means 4 times y, or I can say 4 multiplied by y. To find this angle we have to multiply 4 by the value of y, which is 36. So if I multiply 36 by 4, it will be equal to 144 degrees. So here value of this angle 4y will be equal to 144 degrees. Clear? So that's the answers of this part. Now we will solve our next part, this part. Now you can see that this line is parallel to that line. Okay, this line is parallel to this line. So here let me redraw it first. Wait a minute. It is just like that. Okay, this line is parallel to this line, and actually this straight line, okay, this straight line is cutting both these parallel lines. All right, and it's also a straight line we have. Okay, all right, so this is a straight line we have. Okay, and this is a straight line we have. Okay, this one a straight line, this one a straight line, and these two lines are parallel to each other. Okay, this line and this line is parallel to each other. Now applying the same concept here, we will get a z here. Okay, just like that. Okay, you can see here we will get a z shape, and it is applicable if we have parallel lines and a line which is a straight line and it is cutting both of the parallel lines. So z shape angle, so this theorem says that this angle will be equal to that angle. Okay, and we have to find the value of x here, and we have to find this angle we must know this angle. So this is actually 47 degrees. You can see here 47 degrees. Okay, so these two angles are same, so I can say that this angle will be equal to that angle, or x is equal to 47. Okay, let me write it here. X will be equal to 47 degrees by alternating angles. Okay, this theorem is known as alternating angles. X will be equal to 47 degrees. Now this angle is equal to 95 degrees, this angle. Okay, let me clear it. This angle is 95 degrees, and vertically opposite angle says that opposite angles are equal. It means that this angle, because these two are straight lines, this one is the first straight line, this one is the second straight line, so vertically opposite angle says that this angle, the opposite angles, this angle will be equal to this angle. Okay, this angle will be equal to this whole angle. All right, it means that this angle is given to us, which is 95 degrees, so it will be equal to this whole angle, and this angle consists of first this angle, okay, only this angle, and the second one this angle. So this value is given to us, which is 14 degrees. So this value will be equal to 14 and y degrees. Okay, 14 plus y. This angle will be equal to the sum of 14 degree and y degree because of vertically opposite angles. Clear? Now if I subtract 14 on both sides, so 95 minus 14 will be equal to 81 degrees, and here we are only left with y at the right hand side. So here you can see that value of y will be equal to 81 degrees and value of x is equal to 47 degrees. So we have solved this part. Now we will see our next part, this part. Okay, it is just like the previous part, vertically opposite angles. We will use that theorem. So you can see here we wait a minute. here we have two straight lines intersecting at this point. Okay, intersecting at this point. This one is the first straight line. You can see this one is the first straight line, and this one is the second straight line. And here we know that the opposite angles are equal to each other. Okay, here we have to find the value of x, here we have to find the value of y, here we have to find the value of z. First of all, you can see that this angle will be equal to that angle. 87 will be equal to x, or I can say x will be equal to 87 degrees. Okay, opposite, vertically opposite angles. Okay, x will be equal to 87 degrees. Now these two are also vertically opposite angles. Okay, you can see two straight lines intersecting at this point, so these two angles are also equal to each other. Or I can say I can write z is equal to y. Okay, z is equal to y, and if I name these two angles a, okay, if I say z is equal to y and y is equal to a, it means that z and y both are equal to a. Okay, I have named a single variable to both of them. Now these two are same, and we know the value of these two. Okay, and now we will apply one more theorem here. It is angles around a point, the sum of angles around a point will be equal to 360 degrees. It means that we have this point, let's take this one. We have this point, okay, this point, intersecting point, and if I take the sum of all the angles present around it, it means that 87 plus y plus x plus z, okay, all the angles around a point, the sum of all the angles around a point will be equal to 360 degrees. Okay, if I write it just like that, let me erase this one. It means that if I take 87 plus y plus x plus z, so their sum will be equal to 360 degrees. Okay, this theorem says that. Okay, so we know the value of x, which is 87 degrees, so I can write 87 instead of x, and I said that the value of y and z is equal to a. Okay, because these both are same. Okay, these both are same, so I can write a or any of other variable instead of these two. Now if I take the sum of these two, 87 plus 87 will answer me 174. And now you can see here we have an a, here we have also an a, so if I add a and a, it will be equal to 2a, and here we have 360 on the right hand side. And now if I subtract 174, okay, 174 on both sides, if I subtract 174 on both sides, here we are left with 2a, and here we have 186 degrees. Okay, let me write it here. 2a will be equal to 186 degrees. Okay, and now if I divide both sides by 2, if I divide both sides by 2, here we are left with a, only a, and here we have 93 degrees. Okay, so here we have found the value of a, and it means y is equal to z, and these both are equal to a. It means that y is equal to a. I can say that y is equal to 93 degrees. Y is equal to a, and the value of a is equal to 93, so y is equal to 93, and z is also equal to a, so z will be equal to 93 degrees. Okay, clear? So because y and z are equal. So y and z will be equal to 93 degrees because a have the value of 93 degrees and y and z is equal to a, and we have our value of x which is 87 degrees. Clear? Now we will solve our next part. In this we have a parallelogram. Okay, we have a parallelogram and one of its sides is extended. Okay, these two sides are parallel to each other. These two sides are also parallel to each other. Okay, these two sides are parallel to each other. These two sides are parallel to each other. And here we have 5x and here we have 4x. We also have to find the value of y. Here we have 5x and here we have 4x. We have to find the value of y also. Now in this we will use an other theorem. It is called co-interior angles. Okay, it is called co-interior angles. What does this mean? Let's see. If I redraw it, if I redraw only this part, okay, only this part. Okay, this side is parallel to this side. Let me draw it there. And this side is parallel to this side. Okay, here you can see that these two sides are parallel to each other. Okay, so co-interior angle, what is the theorem? Here you can see that here we have a C shape. Okay, so you can see here we have a C shape. Okay, and here it is parallel sides. Okay, so you can see here we have a C shape between these two parallel sides. So what does the theorem says? It says that the sum of this angle, okay, the sum of this angle and the sum of this angle, it will be equal to 180 degrees. It means if I take this angle, which is equal to, you can see from here, 5x, which is equal to 5x. Okay, 5x if I take this angle, which is equal to 4x, if I take the sum of these two angles, it will equal to 180 degrees. Okay, the sum of these two angles will be equal to 180 degrees. This is co-interior angles. Okay, these two are co-interior angles of each other. Okay, now 5x plus 4x, it will be equal to 9x. Okay, 9x. Here we have 180 degrees, and if I divide both sides by 9, here we are left with x only, and here 180 divided by 9, it will be equal to 20 degrees. Clear? So here you can see that the value of x will be equal to 20 degrees. Here we have only found out the value of x, but not the values of these two angles. To find the value of these two angles, we have to multiply it by 5 and 4. To find this angle, we have to multiply the value of x with 5. So 120 multiplied by 5, it will be equal to 100 degrees. So this 100 degrees is the angle of 5x actually, okay, this angle. And if I take this angle, so 4 multiplied by x, which is equal to 20, 4 multiplied by 20 will be equal to 80 degrees. Okay, so this angle will be equal to 80 degrees. Clear? Now we will find the value of y. Okay, let's see how to find the value of y. Alright, so you can see that these two also parallel lines. This line, let me redraw it. These two are parallel lines, and this is a straight line intersecting these two parallel lines. This is a straight line. Okay, this is a straight line intersecting these two parallel lines. Now we will use another theorem. It is corresponding angles theorem. So what this theorem says? This theorem says that the corresponding angles are equal to each other. What does corresponding angle means? You can see here we have two sides. Actually, I have told all of these theorems in the previous video, so you can get and watch them. Okay, so corresponding theorem says that the corresponding sides, this is corresponding angle of this angle. Okay, and this one is a corresponding angle of the other angle. Okay, so now this time I'm only taking these two angles, so this angle is a corresponding angle of that one. You can see these two are parallel lines, so this angle is a corresponding angle to that angle, and corresponding angles are equal. It means that this angle will be equal to that angle. This angle is equal to 80 degrees. Okay, you can see from here, so 80 degrees. So and this angle is y. It means that 80 degrees and y are equal, so I can say that y is equal to 80 degrees. Okay, because of the corresponding angles. So we have found out the value of x and y. Now we will see our next part, this one. Here we have a triangle. Wait a minute. Okay, and it is said that these two sides are parallel to each other. These two sides are parallel to each other, and you can see this line is actually intersecting these two lines, and this line is also intersecting these two parallel lines. So we will use the same theorem here. First of all, I will use the theorem corresponding angles. Here we have y, here we have 72. Corresponding angles theorem says that, okay, we have two parallel lines, so a line is intersecting parallel lines, two parallel lines, so corresponding angles are equal. So this one is a corresponding angle of this one. Okay, you can see that these two are parallel lines. This angle, which is upper of that parallel line, which is upside here, so this angle is equal to 72. You can see, or I can erase just these lines. Okay, so you can see that this angle, which is equal to 72, and this angle, which is equal to y, these two are same. I can say that y is equal to 72 degree. So let me write it. Y is equal to 72 degrees. And let me redraw it, but from the other side. Okay, this side. Now these two are parallel lines, and now this line is intersecting, this straight line is intersecting these two lines, and here we will get a C shape. Okay, or I can say co-interior angles. You can see here we have a C shape. Okay, or if I remove these two lines, so you can get more clear. Okay, actually this is this side of this triangle. Here this angle is equal to x, and this angle is equal to 68 degrees. So co-interior angle says that the sum of these two angles, angle x and we have 68 here, sum of these two angles, co-interior angles, will be equal to 180 degrees. Alright, so if I subtract 68 from both sides, so on this side, on the left hand side, then we will get only x, and on the right hand side we will get 112. Here the value of x is equal to 112. Clear? Now I will do this part. Let's see. Here we have two parallel lines. These two are two parallel lines. Okay, and now this time I am only drawing this line. Okay, first I have drawn this line only. Okay, now you can see here we have alternating angles. How? You can see in alternating angles we will get a Z shape. Okay, you can see this is a Z shape we have, and these angles are corresponding or co-interior or co-interior and corresponding and alternate angles. These will exist if we have parallel lines. Okay, so you can see here we have parallel lines and we have a alternating angles. We have alternating angles, so it means that this angle will be equal to that angle. Actually we have to find the value of x. Okay, we can find out the value of x by applying straight line angle theorem. Okay, straight line angle theorem. It says that the sum of all the angles present on a straight line, this is a straight line, and the sum of all the angles present on a straight line will be equal to 180 degrees. So we have here this angle is given to us, which is 63 degrees. This angle we have to find this angle, and if we know the value of this angle, okay, if we know the value of this angle, we can find out the value of x. So first of all we will find the value of x here, sorry, the value of this angle here. So from alternating angles you can see that this angle will be equal to that angle, or I can say this angle A. Okay, this angle A will be equal to 57 degrees. This angle A is equal to 57 degrees. Okay, now we will apply straight line theorem. It says that x plus 63 plus A will equal to 180 degrees. So if I put the value of A here, which is 57 degrees, we will get x plus 63 plus 57 will be equal to 180 degrees. And now if I add 63 and 57, it will answer me 120 degrees. Okay, now if I subtract 120 on both sides, here we will get x only, and here on the other sides 120 will be subtracted from 180, so here we get 60 degrees. So this angle x will be equal to 60 degrees. Clear? Now we will solve our last part. If I redraw first these two parallel lines, okay, you can see from here that this line is parallel to this line and also this line. These three lines are parallel to each other, and if I redraw these two parallel lines only, and if I draw this line, this straight line, okay, so you can see from here that actually this straight line is intersecting these two parallel lines. Okay, so here we are given with this angle and this angle. Actually we have to find this angle, which is A and which is 1 120 degrees. Okay, now we will apply co-interior angle theorem. Okay, in the co-interior angle we will get a C shape. You can see from here. Okay, you can see we will get a C shape here. Okay, this C shape. So this angle, the co-interior angle theorem says that if we take the sum of these two angles, it will be equal to 180 degrees. It means that if I take the sum of A, let me write it clearly, A plus 120 degrees, A plus 120 degrees, it will be equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so, and if I subtract 120 from both sides, here we are left with A, and here we will get 60 degrees. Alright, so here our value of A is equal to 60 degrees. Let me write it here. Here the value of A is equal to 60 degrees due to the co-interior angles. Clear? Co-interior angles. Alright, now we will use another theorem. Actually, the theorem which we will use now is related to triangle. Okay, so this theorem says that the sum of two interior angles, let's take you can see these two lines are extended, and if I exclude this line first, okay, if I exclude this line, this theorem says the sum of two interior angles, okay, this one and this one, if I take these two angles, the sum of two interior angles will be equal to the opposite exterior angle. The sum of two interior angles, these two are two interior angles, the sum of these two interior angles will be equal to the opposite exterior angle. Okay, it means that if I extend this line, this baseline, okay, you can see if I extend, if I only have this one, okay, and first of all we have to extend this line, okay, and now if I take the sum of these two interior angles, it will be equal to the exterior, opposite exterior angle. It means here we have B, so B plus 72 will be equal to 120 degrees. Okay, B plus 72, two interior angles, sum of two interior angles will be equal to other opposite exterior angles, so B plus 72 will be equal to 180, sorry, will be equal to 120 degrees, the other one. So if I subtract both sides, if I subtract 72 on both sides, okay, here we are left with B. If I subtract 72 on both sides, here we are left with B, and on the other side 120 minus 72 will answer 48 degrees. Okay, so here, from here we can find out the value of B, which is equal to 48 degrees. Alright, let me write the value of B here, which is equal to 48 degrees. Now if I redraw these two lines, okay, this line and this line, alright, so you can see from here that here we have two straight lines intersecting at this point, so we will use vertically opposite theorem. Vertically opposite theorem, this theorem, we know that this theorem says that opposite angles are equal to each other. Okay, so actually this angle will be equal to that angle, and this angle will be equal to this angle. Here we know the value of B. You can see from here, here we have B and C, which are vertically opposite angles of each other. So here we know the value of b, which is equal to 48. So b is equal to c, or we can say c is equal to 48, because value of b is equal to 48. So from here we can say that c is equal to 48 degrees. Here now we will find the value of d, and if I redraw these two lines only, this line and this line, and this one is, and this line also, which is intersecting these two parallel lines. Now I will again use corresponding angles theorem. It says that corresponding angles are equal to each other. You can see this is a corresponding angle of that angle, or this is a corresponding angle of that angle. So these two are same, clear, and we have known the value of this, which is equal to 120 degrees, and this is the value of, this is the angle we have to find out. So these two are same. I can say the value of d is equal to 120 degrees. Okay, 120 degrees. So d is equal to 120 degrees. Clear? These are corresponding angles. It means that corresponding angles are equal. Okay, so we have seen many different questions here. Now we will solve some more questions. Let me see. Now I have written these questions. A question is, check whether the lines are parallel or not. We have to check whether these two lines are parallel or not. Here actually we will apply the same theorems. We will apply the alternating angle theorem, corresponding theorem, and if needed we will apply cointer angles. So all these theorems are only applicable if we have parallel lines. I have told you just before here that these theorems are applicable if we have parallel lines. So we will apply the rules, and we will see if we get a correct answer. So we can say that these two are parallel lines, and if we will not get the correct answer, we can say that these two are not parallel lines. First of all, I will go for this one. If I apply alternating angles, we know that in alternating angles we will get a Z shape. Okay, you can see we will get a Z shape between two parallel lines. Okay, so we have to check whether these two are parallel lines or not, and if they are parallel lines, so we will get these two angles. Okay, we can say that these two angles will be equal if we have these two parallel lines. So we will get a Z shape, and in Z shape this angle will be equal to that angle. So we will check if this angle is equal to that angle, if the angle A will be equal to the angle B. Okay, we can say that these two are parallel lines because this theorem is correct, and if the angle A is not equal to angle B, so we can say that these two lines are not parallel, because here we will not get the correct answer. So here you can see we will get a Z shape here. Okay, and we can see that these two angles are also equal to each other. 84 is equal to 84, or I can say A is equal to B here. So actually these two are parallel lines. So I can draw this arrow shape. It shows that these angles are parallel to each other. Clear? Okay, now we will go for this one. Okay, Now first of all we will go for corresponding angles. Corresponding angles say that if we have parallel lines, and if we have parallel lines, so the corresponding angles will be equal to each other. It means that this is the corresponding angle of this one. I can write it A and B. A is the corresponding angle of B. It means A will be equal to B, and this angle C will be equal to this angle D. The angle C and D are two corresponding angles, and A and B are two corresponding angles. So here we need A or B. It means that we need this one or this one. We need this one and this one. Here this is missing, okay? And on the other side we want C and D. It means that we want this angle and this angle, okay? 74 is given, but this angle, okay, this angle is missing. So what we can do, actually you know that this is a straight line, and we use the theorem angle on a straight line. The sum of all the angles present on a straight line will be equal to 180 degrees. So if we use that angle, it means that let that angle be x, okay? It means that 105, if I add 105 and x, it will answer me 180 degrees. 105 plus x will be equal to 180 degrees. So if I subtract 105 on both sides, if I subtract 105 on both sides, here on the left hand side we are only left with x, and here on the right hand side we will get 75. It means that this angle is equal to 75 degrees, okay? According to corresponding theorem, this theorem says that corresponding angles should be equal. It means that C will be equal to D, or I can say that these two angles, 74 and 75, should be equal. If they are parallel, so they should be equal. If these two lines are parallel, they should be equal. But you can see here 75 is not equal to 74. Here angles are not same. It means that these two lines, this one is the first line, this one is the first line, and this one is the second line, these two lines are not parallel, okay? These two sides, these two lines are not parallel to each other. Clear? Now we will see one more question here. Here we have our next question. Question is, two angles are complementary. What does this mean? It means that the sum of two angles is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees, so it means we have just like this. Here we have 90 degrees sum of two angles. It means that one angle wait a minute. Yes, it means that the sum of angle x and y, I can say, is equal to 90 degrees. Sum of angle x and y. Alright, so let's read. Two angles are complementary. Okay, the sum is equal to 90 degrees, and the first angle is equal to the sum of the twice the second angle and 3. So what are the angles? It means that first angle is equal to the sum of the twice angle of the second angle, twice the second angle. And so it means that if we consider the second angle first, okay, if we consider the second angle, let the second angle be x, okay, let the second angle be x. Now our statement says that first angle, okay, let me write it. first angle is equal to the sum. Okay, first angle is equal to the sum of twice the second angle. Okay, second angle is x, so the sum of twice the second angle, it means twice the second angle. Second angle is x, so twice the second angle. Okay, and 3, the sum of twice the second angle and 3. Okay, so this is our first angle. This first angle is equal to the sum of the twice the second angle and 3 here. So that's our second angle. So we have to find both the angles. It means that if we have this one second angle, so it is equal to 2x plus 3 here. Okay, so it means that if we take the sum of these two angles, because they are complementary angles, it means the sum of these two angles will be equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so it means that if we take first angle, which is equal to 2x plus 3, so if I take the sum of this with the second angle, which is x, the sum will be equal to 90 degrees. Okay, these are complementary angles. So 2x plus x will be equal to 3x and plus 3 as it is this one, and it will be equal to 90. If I subtract 3 on both sides, it will be equal to, here we are left with 3x, and here it will be equal to 87. Alright, and if I divide 3 on both sides, here we are left with 3, and here it will be equal to 29. Okay, here we will get the value of x, which is equal to 29. Now we have found out the value of x, which is this one. The value of x, which is the angle, which is the second angle, which is equal to 29 degrees. To find the first angle, we have to put the value of x here. Okay, it means that actually 2 multiplied by 29 plus 3. Here I have put the value of x, which is 29. 2 is going to multiply with x, 2 is going to multiply with 29, and plus 3 as it is. Now if I solve this one, so 29 multiplied by 2 will be equal to 58, and this plus 3 as it is, and 58 plus 3 will be equal to 61 degrees. Okay, so our first angle is equal to 29 degrees, and our second angle is equal to 61 degrees. So that's there are two angles which are complementary angles of each other. It means that their sum will be equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so that's it for this video. Angle relationship to find unknown angles.
Access the entire Mathematics Demystified course at learneasy.us.